It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show Express on SABC3. Now, as you know, we at Expresso, we love our food. Our kitchen is always stocked up, cooking up the most delicious dishes, and I'm sure that you do at home as well. But one thing that does occur sometimes is that, you know, we all waste food because we have such an abundance of it, but it's a terrible thing and something that should be prevented. And that's why Woolworths and the Western Cape government's 110% green project are really doing something about showing people out there how not to waste food. Take a look.
A concerning fact is that we are wasting about 30 to 40% of our food in every element of the agricultural supply chain. By 2050, the planet will need to feed a population of an estimated 9 billion. That means not a crumb should go to waste.
It's so much part of what we want to achieve with 110% green, which is stimulate positive energy around very serious issues and get people active and doing things and making a difference.
There's two elements to the food wastage story. The first one is the middle-class growing Western consumer. We're used to easy convenience. We don't put the value on the food and are able to waste it in our home. So we need to place a lot more emphasis in how we shop, shopping wisely, choosing wisely, looking at local sourcing. Then on the other spectrum, we look at the low housing, the urban consumer that is a low-income consumer. How do we get into community food gardens, growing our food locally, finding access to food in an affordable fashion?
To raise awareness regarding this important issue, Woolworths partnered with the 110 Green Initiative at the Food Forward Cook-Off in Stellenbosch on Nelson Mandela International Day.
We've basically planned it to sort of be a surplus food donation to make the food for today. So everything that's kind of left over at the end of the day from a purchase perspective at a Woolworths store and donating that through. So when you hear about some of the scary stats, like about a third of South Africa's food is wasted across the value chain, there's a lot we need to do as retailers and consumers to try and reduce that. So we're working with our farmers at the moment to understand where food waste happens in our value chain and reduce that.
Participants were challenged to cook delicious pots of soup, and teams were also judged on how little food they wasted during the cook-off. Western Cape Premier Helen Zille led a team as part of her 67 minutes.
Premier, I must say, I am very, very impressed. Listen, how are things going here at your station?
Well, I haven't burnt it yet, and that's a miracle in its own right.
So tell me, what have you put in your recipe so far?
Well, I love chili, so we had to make a soup with a bit of chili, but we don't want to kill the flavour of the marrows. We've put onions, we've put leeks, we've put a bit of rosemary, we've put lots of chives, we've got a secret herb and spice, which every winning recipe always has to have. So we're trying to give a bit of spice to a very traditional blend.
In keeping with the theme of today, why should there be people in South Africa who are hungry when there's so much food available? When there's so much food available, and we all can do a little bit in our own ways, in our own companies, in our own homes, to reduce wastage and make sure that people are fed.
Okay, so you're going to be judging a little bit later on. Specifically, what are you looking for?
Just a bit of taste, a bit of flavour, well-seasoned soup. You know, making soup at this scale is quite difficult to get the seasoning right. You've got to keep tasting as you're cooking and make sure there's enough salt in it.
The judges were in for a treat. The soup was donated to various organizations in the area to help fill bellies on a cold Boland day, so everyone walked away as winners.
In your mind, being in the industry, how can we reduce the food we waste?
Oh, look, I think it's one of the biggest things that we always deal with as chefs. You know, when we do functions and you have bits and pieces and you have food left over, what do you do with it? You know, and it's an altruistic say, oh, there's loads of starving people. It's how do you get that food to the people? There's a lot of thought about how do we get that to the people who need it. And I think that's what the great thing about this initiative is, that it'll get that ball rolling.
Households can help reduce food wastage by planning the week's shopping and getting creative with leftovers. Use sell-by dates as a guideline and think twice before throwing anything away.
Every single one of us can contribute to this global issue that is food waste. We must remember that it starts with you at home.